teams. Maybe there'll be a consideration with the due factor. I think with the two teams that we have today, India and Namibia, they'll be looking at it in very, very different ways. Right, as we continue to look ahead to this game, should we look at the Indian bowling? We've seen some very fine batsmen and what they can do. Theoretically, it's not a bad bowling attack either.
Yes, Indian bowling, Mohammad Shami at the top with 6 wickets. Jasprit Bumrah with 5 wickets. उसके बाद जडेजा है जिन्होंने 4 खिलाड़ियों को आउट किया. इकोनॉमी देखें तो फास्ट बॉलर्स में शामी की थोड़ी ज़्यादा है जिसके ऊपर उन पे क्रिटिसिज्म हो रहा था, बट बुमराह बहुत ही इकोनॉमिकल. जडेजा की भी इकोनॉमी मिडिल ओवर्स के हिसाब से ठीक है. अश्विन ने 2 ही मैचेस खेले हैं, 3 विकेट्स लिए, इंप्रेसिव कमबैक उन्होंने भी किया है. लेकिन नीचे जो बाकी बॉलर्स हैं वो भी इतना कुछ खास ऑब्वियसली इसलिए भी नहीं कर सके. एक तो वजह राशिद भाई ये भी रही कि उसके पास उनके पास इतने रन्स ऑन द बोर्ड भी नहीं रहे, जिसकी वजह से ये स्टैट्स इतने बेस्ट रिप्रेजेंट नहीं कर सकते.
शुरू के मैचेस में 2 ही आउट किए, 2 मैच में 2 आउट थे उनके. लेकिन ये कि अगर आपने बात की शामी की, इकोनॉमी रेट ज्यादा है लेकिन स्ट्राइक रेट देखें, वो स्ट्राइक बॉलर है, उसका 11 का है और बॉलिंग अच्छी की. बुमराह और ये 2 इनके स्ट्राइक बॉलर हैं. अगर इनका इकोनॉमी रेट बढ़ भी जाता है तो इतना बड़ा इशू, विकेट्स लेके देनी चाहिए जो कि
पहले 2 मैचों की बात ले रही.
हाँ, लेकिन वो शुरू के 2 मैचेस ना टॉस हार गए या कोई भी बहाना बना सकते हैं. लेकिन बॉलिंग भी इतनी अच्छी नहीं की. अगर न्यू बॉल से अगेंस्ट पाकिस्तान चक्रवर्ती करेगा तो फास्ट बॉलर को देनी चाहिए थी उनको बॉलिंग वहाँ पे. इतना सक्सेसफुल नहीं रहे. लेकिन ऑल टुगेदर देखा जाए वर्ल्ड वाइड क्रिकेट में कोई शामी हो जाए या बुमराह हो जाए, एक्सीलेंट परफॉर्मेंस रही है इनकी तीनों फॉर्मेट में. एक नहीं, तीनों फॉर्मेट में इनकी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस रही है.
बिल्कुल. आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगे अजहर भाई?
नहीं, क्वालिटी बॉलर है बुमराह और शमी. हमने देखा है जिस तरह उनकी थ्रू आउट द ईयर जो है ना काफ़ी अरसे से वो परफॉर्मेंस कर रहे हैं, स्पेशली 3 फॉर्मेट में जैसे राशिद भाई ने कहा. तो आई थिंक दैट्स एक्सीलेंट परफॉर्मेंस. बस उनका बुरा टाइम था जो 2 मैचेस हुए और आउट भी कोई नहीं किया, तो जाहिर सी बात है आपका फिर स्ट्राइक रेट और एवरेज भी ऊपर जाती है जब आप आउट नहीं करते.
बिल्कुल. ऑफ कोर्स ही इज द स्ट्राइक बॉलर. ही वाज अ लिटिल बिट एक्सपेंसिव बट इट्स नॉट टू मच अ बिग इशू when you have the strike bowler and he can take wickets. Unfortunately, in the first couple of games, India was not able to take many wickets, but after that, they have started to come back into form, but a little later in the tournament.
Yeah, again, it goes back to that point we were making. You back, when you've got someone who's been a good performer for you over a long time, you ignore the odd bad day, don't you? And unless it's a consistently bad performance day after day after day. You say, right, now this guy will be back, which is exactly what Virat did with Mohammad Shami.
Yes, he backed him all the way. And you would have heard Aaqib speak about giving confidence to your players and making them feel part of your unit. And with all the sticks that he would have taken through social media and stuff like that, knowing that his captain is behind him, he gave him all the support that was necessary in order for him to have come back the way he did. Because you do need that. And I think that was pretty good for him moving forward as well, because Sammy is a class act. We've seen him in Test match cricket and all the other forms as well, and he's just been a class act. Every time you see him bowl, especially if you are behind, you can see the full seam of the ball all the time coming down. And I think when you have an individual like that who can shake up as well, because not because he may seam it and swing it, he does have a bouncer that can shake any batsman up.
Yeah, that's worth sticking into the middle of or even at the start of a T20 innings for sure.
I mean, look, they have good 2 quality bowlers, Bumrah and Shami. Otherwise, Hardik Pandya coming back from the injuries is good with the bat, but his bowling gone down. And then the spinners, Chakravarti, he's done well in IPL, and they thought that he is the go-man bowler. But we haven't seen any spin or turn in his bowling. He's tried that carom ball, but doesn't spin. That is a problem. And then Jadeja is a smart bowler, but not a threat. So I think Indian bowling was not as strong as Pakistan or New Zealand or even Australia or England. When they had like Chahal in the team and the Chinaman
Kuldeep
Yadav. That combo was very strong with Hardik Pandya. Bowling was there before the injuries. So I think this bowling lineup has to change after this T20 if they want to bring some changes in coming World Cup in Australia?
Yeah, it looks like there will be a lot of changes. I mean, you've got to change of coach coming up. There will be others coming towards the end of their natural life. I mean, Ashwin has come back, hasn't he? From, what was it, how many years out?
2 years.
2 years out.
2 years
2 years out.
internationally.
Yeah,
4 or 2?
international.
I think 4.
Yeah.
4?
Yeah,
Go on.
Ashwin.
Ashwin.
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
After 4 years.
Okay, I'll raise you. 5 years. No.
So this is what the indications are. You know, the tournament, if you want to do well at the tournament, you need to carry that pool or group with you.
Indeed. Okay. We need to go across to Dubai. Ravi Shastri is finishing his tenure as India's coach at the end of this game as well. Let's hear from him right now.
They say I played against someone, I worked in the commentary box with them, and now I'm interviewing them as part of a team. Ravi, thank you very much for your time. As you reflect on the last few years, how have you seen that journey?
I think it's been fantastic. You know, when I took this job, I said in my mind I want to make a difference, and I think I have. You know, sometimes, Bish, in life, it's not all about what you accomplish, it's what you overcome. And what these guys have overcome over the last 5 years, you know, the way they've traveled across the globe and performed in every corner of the globe in all formats of the game, will make this, irrespective of what's happened here, as one of the great teams in the history of the game. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind, you know. And it's unfortunate, you know, we are out of this tournament, but that takes nothing away from a great side.
What would you say would be the high point or a couple of high points in this phase for you?
I think across all formats there are plenty, you know, but I would say winning in red ball cricket across the globe, you know, in West Indies, Sri Lanka, Australia, England, we're leading the series. It could be the longest lead in the history of cricket, you know, because the next test is next year. But I take that, you know, I'll settle for that for 12 months. But to go across and beat all these sides, and then every team in white ball cricket, whether it's 20 or 50 over, we've beaten sides in their den, which was my endeavour and the team's endeavour, because you were always labelled as big bullies at home, but when you had to travel outside, you know, you didn't have the goods. But this team has shown they have more and plenty of that.
As you leave this team, as you speak about them, do you feel that you've left them in that place that you would have hoped?
Absolutely. I think in Rahul Dravid, they've got a guy who's, I would say, has inherited a great team. And I think with his stature, with his experience, he can only raise the bar for this team in time to come. You know, because there are still a lot of players here who will play for another 3-4 years, which is very important. It's not a team in transition overnight, and that will make the biggest difference. You know, Virat's still there. He's done a fantastic job as leader of the side. In fact, he's been one of the biggest and the best ambassadors for Test match cricket over the last 5 years. And, you know, a lot of credit goes to him in the way, you know, he's thought about how he wants the team to play the game and how the team have rallied around him.
Just as we close, Ravi, you talked about the experience here in this tournament not being what you would like. What are the learnings from it? What can you take and say we're going to build on this to achieve success down the road?
I think first of all, it's rest. See, I am mentally drained, but I expect that at my age. These guys are physically and mentally drained. You know, 6 months in a bubble. And then what we would have ideally liked was a bigger gap between the IPL and the World Cup. And the World Cup. So that it's not a question of, it's when the big games come. And when the pressure hits you, you're not that switched on as you should be. And it's not an excuse. You know, this is not an excuse. We take defeat because we're not scared of losing. Because in trying to win, you will lose a game. Here we didn't try to win because that X factor was missing.
Ravi, thank you very much for your time.
Very interesting. Now, I mean, I've known Ravi for a long, long time. Played against him through the 80s. I've worked with him in commentary boxes. He's a very proud man. He loves the game. He loves India. That one remark at the end, though, saying that the Indian team wanted time off between the IPL and a World T20. You can't get away with that.
But that's why he said it's not an excuse.
Well, okay, right.
Because, you
Okay.
know,
But if he says it, okay, you cannot say we would have liked more time between an IPL and a World T20 and then go, By the way, that's not an
Yeah,
excuse.
yeah, it's not.
Because
Well,
you've just said it.
that sends the message. You know,
Just said it. And
tell you exactly
it's
the
It's
mindset.
what we were talking about, priorities. Is the IPL the priority for India?
Yeah, I mean,
or
you-
is
you
ICC
could have-
and World Events the priority?
The 20 players or 25 players who were going for the World Cup could have taken the time off from IPL to give them a break
Yeah.
to go into the World Cup
I mean,
more
taking
prepared.
time off from that final test
Yeah.
match, I mean, I shouldn't talk about that, but yeah, no, that was one thing.
Please say it.
Well, taking time off from that final test match is one thing. I mean, they all flew out on private jets the day after or the day of the game.
Amazing.
And once again, can I apologise for England not coming to Pakistan to play just 2 games, which would have been so easy. I said that right at the start of our run of Game on Hell. I'll say it again now as a perfect opportunity. Yeah, we all need to understand where help come from, where our support is. England, I promise you, are very grateful for Pakistan coming to us over the last couple of years and playing test matches and ODIs. And I once again would say it's shameful the way they failed to come here. Luckily, you can stop me there now because we're going to go to the toss in Dubai.
Toss has rescued you.
Yes, final game of this phase of the World Cup and the final game for these two teams. Although it's the first time that these nations are meeting in T20 internationals, Jeff Crow is the match referee, Gerard Erasmus is the captain of Namibia, and Virat Kohli is with us with the coin, captain of India.
It's called Trials India.
Tails it is, and as you've heard from Jeff Crow, Virat has won the toss. Virat, what are you going to do and why?
We'll bowl first again. I mean, look, the tosses have been a big factor here. So when I've won a couple, it's worth just doing what we wanted to do from day one. So yeah, again, good chance to get into the game with the ball and just do what we know best as a team.
I don't know what the emotions have been like for you and the team over the last 24 hours. Your last game as captain of the T20 international team. How are you feeling?
Yeah, look, it's been an honor for me. I was given the opportunity and I've tried to do my best. But as I mentioned before, it's also time for me to create some space and prioritize things moving forward. And unfortunately, the shortest format of the game has to give way to the longer formats. But yeah, I've been immensely proud of how the team has played, and also grateful for the opportunity to have led the Indian cricket team in the T20 format for so many years. And now I think it's time for the next lot to take this team forward. Obviously, Rohit's here. He's overlooking things for a while now, and will always be the leaders in the group. But also a milestone moment for Indian cricket, especially moving forward.
And 50 games for you as well. Any changes to your lineup today?
Just one. Varun Chakravarti misses out and Rahul Chahar replaces him.
All the best to you, Virat.
Yes, thank you.
Gerard walked this way. You're a team that generally likes to chase, but you have to set it up now. How do you feel?
Yeah, we just take this as a great opportunity now to go out against one of the world's best sides, arguably the biggest cricketing nation. So it's an awesome opportunity for our batters to really cash in against a good bowling lineup of theirs. Hopefully, if it slows down a bit, we can defend it later.
Have you met the objectives for the team or surpassed them in this tournament?
I guess the big goal was achieved in getting through that group stage, which was a very tough group stage to get through. And the goal we set ourselves, furthermore, was to continue winning cricket games. But the invaluable experience we've picked up throughout this group, throughout this Super 12 stage, has been something that you can't replicate back home or playing in any other type of series. So this World Cup has really been for us, a massive event and a great experience to be a part of.
Any changes to your lineup today?
We got the one change. Jan Fralink is fine to go, and he comes in for Cole Birkenstock.
You mentioned all that just now. Finally, what has been the feedback from back home, given what you guys have achieved? What has been the feedback at home, given what you've achieved?
Oh, absolutely positive feedback from back home. Everyone's quite inspired by what we have done. Playing on the world stage for such a small country in any sport, let alone cricket, is a big thing. And we've had some brilliant messages from all sorts of figures back home, wishing us well for these games, and that's been phenomenal to see for the players.
All the best this evening.
Thank you.
Just a reminder of what has happened out here. Virat Kohli of India has won the toss. They'll be bowling first.